वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Moments with Sri Krishna. That is how someone wrote a little booklet many years ago, sharing his reflections on Bhagavad Geetā. Moments with Sri Krishna. That's what you and I are doing in these Wednesday morning classes, which are Tuesday evening classes in the West. Friends, we are having moments with Sri Krishna. And in these extraordinary teachings, spanning really 17 chapters, for the first chapter is more of submissions by Arjuna. We are drinking from the nectar of the wisdom of Bhagavad Geetā. In this fifth chapter, we came up to the two verses 20 and 21. In the last class, we saw these couple of verses, and it was a powerful message that we received in the context of daily spirituality. Spirituality is not about stuffing the head with great philosophical ideas that may have a place in the scheme of things. But if we are truly interested in going higher and higher on the scale of consciousness, as these two verses say, we need to be less and less dependent on external gratifications. Bhāhya sparsheshu asattatma. Human life is such a dangerous affair. If somebody has withdrawn very well from sense pleasures, he falls a prey to the desire for name and fame. Even those who apparently walk away from the pursuit of name and form harbor in their bosom a desire for being appreciated for what they left behind. If once in a while somebody says, "You are a truly virakta purusha or stri, you gave up money, position, you did not even go after name or fame. Wow." Somebody says, and if the sadhu or sadhvi feels, this man made my day. Where has she or he left the gratification that we receive from not just food and drink, but from praise? So from all kinds of pleasure that comes and goes, we need to withdraw, not in a negative state of mind, fearing the consequences, or because the books have said it and so on, but out of deep understanding that the Shastras are so true. This praise, this ice cream, this pleasure, this power, this position, this glamour, by their nature, come to an end soon, if not soon, a bit later. Some last a little longer, some end so soon, but that so-called longer also is short-lived only. Therefore, Bahyasparsheshu asaktatma atmani yat sukham vindate was said in 21. Sri Krishna realizes that this is neglected by a lot of people, sadhakas. They just go on attending classes, they memorize shlokas, they collect books, they collect all kinds of material, they run from ashram to ashram, but in their own bosom there are those desires for either sense pleasure or for the subtler forms where the ego gets very pleased, such as being appreciated, praised. Therefore, Sri Krishna realizes that this is a vital area where sadhakas need to be guided. So now in yet another 3 or 4 verses, Lord Krishna emphasizes the need for our growing in Vairagya. Viveka and Vairagya are the very foundation of true spirituality. Otherwise, one may be scholarly, one may have some talents to speak or to write or to do some puja in some very impressive manner, and one may teach some techniques to some people, and those who learn also get some passing benefits. And the person who teaches those techniques also might have experienced the quick benefits of certain techniques. Do some kind of pranayama, do some kind of mantra japa. Your health may improve, your energy levels may rise. All right. But they are not the core of spirituality. If you become very energetic, who knows? You may do more wrong things with that energy. What is important is Viveka and Vairagya. To sit quietly with the understanding I am the pure self is far higher than being able to walk on water or heal somebody by just a touch and so on. Those siddhis are of no use. Many times they bring harm to the practitioner. Well, we go for 22nd verse today. Adi Shankara connects us to the shloka saying, there is yet another reason why you need to withdraw your senses and your mind from external forms of gratification. Ye hi samsparshaja bhogaha dukkayonaya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha, a wise woman or a wise man, never fancies the so-called happiness coming from enjoyments which have a beginning and an end. What a beautiful expression. Adyantavanta. Adihi antascha yesham bhavataha te adyantavanta. All the sense pleasures, through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and other karmendriyas and so on, all kinds of celebration, jubilation, all kinds of how we feel so good about things. People travel, people go to Japan, Europe, Australia, America, or East, Far East. Enjoy. We are going on a cruise, we are on vacation, and so on. That is, don't take this negatively as though Bhagavad Geetā is against enjoying life. Bhagavad Gita is asking us to develop a higher understanding of enjoyments. Do enjoy, but even when you are enjoying, please know this has a beginning and this has an end. Inwardly detached. Do not get carried away by pleasures. A boy went to his aunt's place. He did not want to go, but the boy's mother said, next Sunday we have a function and you go to that aunt and invite her for the function. The boy rather unwillingly went and said to the aunt, our family invites you to the function we have next Sunday. And he was about to return. The aunt said, oh my child, you have come here after a long time. Sit down. I will make some delicious upma for you. Upma. Upma, the breakfast item. Just a moment. So the boy said, okay. He sat. But the aunt made such delicious upma and gave him a glass of badam milk. He was so delighted. He came back. Next time there was some function in the house, he said to his mother, to that aunt's house, I will go and give the invitation. His mother was surprised. Last time he was not interested in doing this errand. All right, go. Next time he went, and the aunt was in a different state of mind. She said, oh, that is nice. I will surely come. And she kept quiet. No upma, no halwa, no badam milk. The boy would not leave that place. He stood there. He sat at her. Then the aunt understood, oh, he is expecting something to eat, little boy, after all. So she again made some upma or poha, some little ahead. Then he came. All of us are like that boy. Once we enjoy good times, once we enjoy somebody's praise, somebody receiving us well, somebody talking well of us in front of others, we want it again and again. Bhagavad Gita says, this longing for repeated enjoyment needs to be examined. We don't instruct you, do this or don't that. You don't do that. Sometimes we do, but that is secondary. Primarily, we ask you to find out for yourself whether a certain continued longing for particular enjoyments does good to you. Is it not a burden? Is it not some unnecessary weight you are carrying on your shoulders? Therefore, it is said in the Shānkara Bhāshya also that these samsparshajaha bhoga, enjoyments or happiness created by contact between enjoyer and the enjoyed. Because the true happiness of the Atma does not have contact-born happiness. It is happiness for no reason. It is happiness without any cause, uncaused happiness. All caused happiness eventually brings sorrow. Dukkha yonaya. Yoni means womb, the source from which something comes. Sorrow will come from that. So when the boy went second time, invited the aunt to a function that was coming up at his own home, he saw that nothing to eat was coming from the kitchen. Nothing to eat was coming towards him. You can imagine the anxiety. What's wrong? Why am I not getting that upma with nice cashew nut and this and that, enriched upma with a lot of ghee and yes, he enjoyed it last time, but because of his longing for it, he is so disturbed. Luckily, the story ended happily. The aunt understood and made again something else. Sent the boy home in a satisfied state of mind. But life doesn't always dance to our tunes. Shankara says, samsparshajaha, that is samsparshebhyaha jayante iti, vishaya indriya samsparshebhyaha jata. We have the vishaya, like the jalebi, indriya, the tongue. We have the vishaya, like music or somebody's praise, and the ears are the indriya. Indriyartha and indriya. Samsparshebhyaha jataha, bhogaha, bhuktayah, bhukti means enjoyment. Dukkha-yonaya evate, Adi Shankara explains from a high Vedanta standpoint. Avidya kritatva. Because that whole duality, me here and that sense object there, coming in touch, and a sense of pleasure is in the avidya bhumi. It's in the frame of reference of spiritual ignorance. More than the jalebi, it is you who are identifying with your personality, you who have a certain state of mind. Today's modern science would say, you with particular secretions from various glands secretes some chemicals. Then that jalebi looks like the whole world. If I cannot eat this, of what use is my life? Right? It's not the jalebi, it is the mindset. All kinds of pleasures and the desires for them are primarily the outcome of a certain mindset. And that mindset, even if it is universally found, you may say, well, people in the West or East, in the Deep South, or everybody desires good food and drink and so on. Why is this spirituality coming down? For heaven's sake, once more, don't think spirituality is against enjoying. Spirituality says, rather than living in desperation, despair, hunger, thirst, etc., it's wonderful if you can eat good food, enjoy, and work hard. Wonderful. But there are greater possibilities, and we are trying to awaken you. Don't misunderstand that our only interest is to come down with a sledgehammer on enjoyments. No. We are not against enjoyments, but we are against your becoming a slave to enjoyments. Bhuktayaha dukkha-yonayaha eva avidya-kritatvat drishyante hi adhyatmikadini dukkhani tan-nimittani eva. Especially adhyatmika dukkha. That is, you are by yourself sitting comfortably on a sofa in an air-conditioned room in your house, but you are crying. What happened? Did anybody do anything? Adhyatmika, in your mind, some memories arise. What happened 3 years ago? What happened 7 years ago? Some memory. And you start crying. That is Adhyatmika means totally internal. Whereas if you are sitting on a sofa and suddenly a mosquito comes and bites or something falls on your head and get pain, that is Adi Bhautika. And then there is also Adi Daivika things. Here Adhyatmika, nobody has done anything to you now. In 2012, somebody had insulted you in front of 10 other people. That is a memory now. But that memory is for creating a problem for you. That is Adhyatmika. Shankara says wonderfully, Adhyatmikadi dukkhani avidya nimittani eva iti drishyate yata iha loke tata paraloke api gamyate eva shabdat. When Sri Krishna adds eva, we need to understand that this is how things are wherever you go, on this earth or even in heaven or hell or any other world, anywhere you go. Years ago, somebody wrote a book, became very popular. The title was very funny. Wherever you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. What is this title? What it means is, unless you change internally in your mental models, go and settle in England or America, live in a big bungalow in Singapore or Hong Kong, be close to powerful and celebrities in the town in Dubai or Kuwait or in India itself. Outwardly, you may reach some heights, but if your mind is a begging bowl for praise, for sense pleasure and so on, paraloke api gamyate yatha ihaloke tata eva shabda na sansare sukhasya gandhamatramapi asti vidva. A seeker of certain maturity understands buddhva, natva, that really speaking, there is no happiness in things of the world. At this point in my life, I am dependent on them, but I need to go on inquiring. At least let me not come to the conclusion that this happiness from these sense objects is true, ever true. It will be so. Till my last breath of life, I will be enjoying these objects. Who knows? Leave alone last breath of your life. Much before, even when you are in 40s or 50s, you may lose what they call taste. I think COVID had one symptom of people not being able to smell. They lost the sense of smell. Bring a fragrant flower before them, it makes no difference to them. That was one symptom reported for COVID-19. And therefore, the fragrance, the sweetness or some other taste of things is all relative to Adhyatmika sthiti, how you are, how your senses, your mind are working. One does not realize that. Therefore, vastutaha actually sansare sukhasya gandhamatramupi na asti iti buddhva vishayamaga trishnikaya indriyani nivartaye. Whenever possible, wherever possible, do it. Then where it was earlier impossible will also become possible. All of us have, at a given point of time, certain serious limitations. So when we have these limitations, Bhagavad Gita says, we will not be able to withdraw the mind. Understood. But at least there must be a certain awareness that this thirst in me, this longing in me is a temporary state of my biology. Long back, a lady called Caroline Myss, M-Y-S-S, Caroline Myss. She was herself a mystic. Some of her books sold like hotcakes. He had made an astonishing statement. Your biography is your biology. That was the statement. I had to read it twice. What does she say? A man's biography is his biology. Then it became clear to me, yes. At a certain point of time in life, and once more with my limited knowledge of medicine, or anatomy or whatever. I just use the word glands. Various glands are secreting hormones or whatever else you call them. And then you are so tempted to do certain things. You are so provoked to go destroy something. Desire, anger, etc. arise all because of your biology. In the Eastern system of looking at things, we say all that is result of karma. Your past karma has activated particular chemical processes, or if it's in the brain, even electrical responses, whatever way you may call it, using the terminology of modern science. Gita's philosophy says, all right, but it is actually an expression of your purva karma. If you have been drinking coffee every morning, within 10 minutes of your getting up, brush the teeth, heart out. Now, on one hand, it is the internal system that would ask for coffee next morning too. On the other, it is your act, repeated acts. You went for coffee, even when sometimes it was bitter in the beginning. It was not to your taste. You just said, let me have a little. And then you developed a taste for it. Till 1993, I guess I had not eaten anything made of cheese. I think I had not. Or maybe even if I had once or twice, it never registered in my brain. But in 93 or 94, when I landed in California, somebody said, eat this vegetarian pizza. I tell you, it was not to my taste. I even felt like vomiting. But I took one slice, another time 2 slices. Within 6 months or a year, not every day, but once in 15 days or so, I would welcome a treat of one of those pizzas. And Western countries are full of these pizza places. San Jose has some places, I don't know, I've forgotten the name. Some of those, they even proudly say, we don't have any branch. This from Caesar's Pizza or something. This quality is available only here. We have no branches in the San Francisco Bay Area. And every time my friends took me there, I would see more than half of the customers were all of Indian origin. Because that particular, if I remember right, it is Caesar's. That particular pizza shop had some combination. Cheese, of course, is very much in the pizza, but the vegetables and some spicing, etc., was so much, so good, so made for Indians, people of Indian origin. So our system gets used to it. So really, intrinsically, without going wrong on it, intrinsically, nothing in this world has happiness to offer to us during a certain length of time. Depending on where your body and mind are stationed that time, vertically and horizontally, you get the illusion. Without this object, without that place, without this gadget, and without this person, without this lady, without this man, without that child, I can't imagine living. I can't live without my daughter being by my side, and whatever. It is avidya and mittatva, a hard truth for most people to swallow. They can't take it. No. Life is real, the world is real, objects are real, etc. Within a certain frame of reference, they are real. And you are that spiritual principle who can go beyond that frame of reference. If you do sadhana and grow out of that frame of reference, a million things which were so delicious, so beautiful, so pleasant, etc. at one time, and you depended on them so much, will mean Nothing. You are not against them, but you do not long for them anymore. You may even, if it is relationships, for example, you are not against somebody to whom you are very attached before. And you may even continue to be very loving, friendly, caring, and do many things, which is wonderful. But you are not dependent. Without being dependent, you can love. Great mystics have talked about love where there is no dependence, which is something unthinkable for vast majority of human beings. For them, love means dependence. Love means expecting. Love means giving a list of demands. And even if one of those 10 demands are not satisfied by the other person, oh, she doesn't seem to love me anymore. He doesn't seem to care for me anymore. Our love has ended. Rama, Rama. Nothing has ended. If you take a second look at your list of demands, and the demands are an adhyatmika problem. It's a problem of your body and mind. Carolyn Miss will say there is an issue with your biology, and therefore your biography, that the way your life proceeds, the trajectory of your life story is in this way. Change your biology, she would say. We would say that's what yoga does, that's what prayer does, that's what meditation does, that's what scriptural study does. Study of Bhagavad Geetā can change your biology. Various secretions in your body reduce, and some other secretions which are noble, sattvic, they begin, and you are a changed person. Don't make your Gita study a mere superficial affair. Contemplate. And small victories lead to big victories. Sometimes just sequencing. At night before you sleep, you have 20 minutes more in your conceptualization. And you think, let me take a look for 10 minutes on the newspapers, then I will do 10 minutes japa. You know what? For heaven's sake, put japa first. Sit and do Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai. And by chance, if you enjoy it and it goes for 25-30 minutes, then you say, let me skip reading newspaper. No harm. The world will run whether you read books or not. But if you put newspaper first, let me see what is the latest report on Ukraine and how are the Gujarat elections going and so on. You never know. You thought 10 minutes, but you read everything with so much interest for 35 minutes. Then you are a dying duck. You have no energy for japa. You go into sleep carrying all that news from around the world. What good do they do to you? All right. Sri Shankaracharya says, Mrigatrashnikāyāha indriyāni nivartaye. Do not chase the mirage. There is no water. Step back. Likewise, do not get more and more entangled either in physical pleasures or in these emotional hangers. Gently, without condemning yourself. Nobody is saying blame yourself for this mistake or that fault or that foolishness or this stupidity. Don't go to the past. Here and now, hold God. Hold Sri Krishna's feet and say all that I will come from these feet of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna Sharanam Mama. A memory of some past arises. Hit it on the head. Make it go away. have better business than to go back to 2017 or 2003 or 1988 or whichever. Memories are such a problem. But send them away. Nivartaye, just as a man recognizing that the reflection of a tree at a distance, which made him imagine there is water, actually is an optical illusion. It's what is called mirage. Decides not to go towards it, withdraws. Same way, you and I need to understand these objects, these various relationships, where I imagine that great happiness. Happiness is in unconditional love. Happiness is in loving that person without attachment. Happiness is in being of service to that person, not in dancing to the tunes of that person, child or adult, old or young, distant or near. So, in a way, whole lot of spirituality is revisiting love. What is living in love? Shankara continues, na kevalam dukkha yonaya eva adyantavantascha. Invariably, unquestionably, pleasures of the world have Adi and Anta. What is Adi? Adihi Vishayendriya Sanyogaha Bhoganam, coming in touch. Antaha Tad Viyogaha, we come in touch and then we part. Meeting and parting. When we are on a lower plane, not so spiritual as we wish to be, we look at this meeting, parting as the glamour of life. Shakespeare, I believe, said, parting is a sweet sorrow. Sweet sorrow together? I am not a scholar in English literature, but here and there I trespass into English literature. Parting is a sweet sorrow. So in Romeo and Juliet, I guess, he romanticizes and beautifies, glamorizes even parting. When lovers meet, that's one wonderful thing. And then part also is a sweet sorrow. No wonder Shakespeare is so much adored. Kalidasa, Bhasa, Bharani also are extraordinary, but today not many people know Sanskrit enough. But there are observations and remarks and statements and insightful comments on the part of these poets, which can also make anyone who reads Kalidas and others go into such great raptures. Anyway, it is said, Adihi Sanyogaha Antaha Viyogaha Ataha Adyantavantaha Anityaha. That means they are not permanent. Madhyakshana Bhavitvat. Yeah, in the middle for a little while, we feel we were on, we feel we are on the ninth cloud or the seventh heaven or the fifth something or the 11th something else. Madhyakshana, in the middle. Before that, it didn't become a part of our life. After that also, it's not a part of it. And one day, all of us leave this earth itself. Leave this earth itself. But we want to make impermanent things permanent. And about the really permanent thing that is God's feet, we turn our face away. We become Vimukha. Vimukha means turning our face away from God. And we are very, very enthusiastically Abhimukha, that is facing towards pleasures. Right? Swami Akhandanandi once complimented Swami Chimmanandi. Swami Akhandananda, a very traditional Swamiji of Vrindavan, said, people like me, referring to himself, we teach such people who are already turning towards God, already turned towards God. हम उनको सिखाते हैं, पढ़ाते हैं जो अभी भगवान के अभिमुख है ही. But your Guru, he said to some Chinmaya devotees, referring to Swami Chinmaya, your Guru teaches those people in thousands and thousands who are left to themselves, are averse to God. They turn away from God and temple and this and that. आपके गुरु तो जो लोग भगवान से विमुख हैं, उनको गीता पढ़ाते हैं, वही उनकी महिमा है. Like that, glowing compliment. So, as you and I spiritually evolve, then nateshu ramate yuga. Whether we want or not, some enjoyments come to us, sometimes because of our prarabdha. Go through that in dignity. Whether we like it or not, sorrow comes to us. Prarabdha. Go through it in dignity. But how you see it in your present awakened state is most important. Buddha means viveki avagataparam. Someone who has, through various classes by competent teachers, has developed, sometimes unknowingly. What I mean is, sometimes students of Vedanta think, I don't know where all these classes have taken me, I don't think they have really benefited. I continue to suffer as ever before. And these gurus, they go on lecturing. Maybe they are benefited, or not. In this way, the mind goes. So I say unknowingly. You may think you are not benefited, but the pravachans that you have heard have actually made such impressions, have made such impact on you, certain sanskaras have been formed in you. Maybe right away it's not helping you, but you will be surprised. On another occasion, when all are crying, you will find yourself balanced, holding your head above your shoulders. Head above the shoulders is another idiom. In this way, we say, Nateshu Ramate Buddha. Last sentence of Shankara's commentary goes, he makes a powerful statement. Atyanta Mudanam eva hi Visheshu Ratihi Drishyate. In this world, if somebody is endlessly attached to pleasures and fun in this so-called outer world, they are very deluded. They are like the animal world. Pashu prabhritinam yatha. Yatha pashu prabhritaya. Prabhriti means like etc. Animals, birds, plants, etc. They are sort of by and large. This is not a condemnation of pashus. They are most lovable by them in their own way. But nobody can deny that they don't have that wide range of ability to think and change their outlook, change their attitude, change their evaluation of scenarios. They are rather programmed in a certain, they are lovable birds, animals. All living beings are lovable in their own way. But in this context, we human beings have the ability to let go of a certain thinking pattern, a feeling pattern, and look at life in new light. Otherwise, yatha pushu prabhritinam visheshu rati bhavati, tatha bhavati atyanta mudhanam manushyanam. मूढ़ानाम ही, again eva I am missing, अत्यंत मूढ़ानाम एव हि विषयेषु रतिः, रतिः is ramanam, enjoy, reveling, यथा पशुप्रवृत्तिनाम्. What a powerful Bhāshya by Adi Shankara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.